As I was sitting on a mat on the floor in a cramped, cold jail cell, a cell which held 212 individuals, but was designed to only hold 50. I looked around at the men sharing my space. They were talking up their crimes. I realized that moment that most of us had several things in common. We did drugs. Our family members did drugs. We lacked education. Many of us had been homeless. We had lived in poverty. Poverty was an endless, continuing chain, extending from our ancestry and moving forward through our future generations. Poverty was a yoke that held us back, caused us to stumble, weighed us down, breaking the chains that seemed hopeless.
Off the Chain is a service learning project. Through providing a service to others, a lesson or lessons are learned. Off the Chain caring service is helping to feed the homeless in the Richmond area. The caring learning or lesson centers around poverty. Poverty, like a chain, consists of links with no apparent beginning or end, connected to one another. Each link provides strength, flexibility, and complexity to the chain.
What is poverty?
Poverty is homelessness.
I think poverty means when you start off in a bad situation.
Poverty is when a family or an individual does not have affordable housing, food, health care, all the necessities that should be a right of any American living in this country.
Poverty to me is being deprived of the quality of life, meaning housing, quality housing, food, drinking water, income, to meet basic needs.
It's the inability to be like everybody else and have the resources that you need to live like everybody else.
In Richmond, Virginia in 2007, there were between 4,600 and 6,900 homeless people.
10.3% of homeless persons in Richmond, Virginia have children living with them.
Homelessness is definitely a result of poverty. People become homeless for a lot of different reasons. Not making enough money, houses being condemned, drug use, alcohol use, abuse, mental illness, criminal records, and the list goes on.
Can you think of more reasons why people become homeless?
According to the city of Richmond, 2000 Census Data Report number 12, Poverty and Statistics, over 43,000 people live in poverty. About 70% are African American, 23% are white, and 4% are Hispanic.
What is poverty? Poverty is African American. The majority of people in Richmond living in poverty are African American, about 7% or 35,000.
What is poverty?
Poverty is crime.
72% of adults living in poverty aged 16 or older have served some time in jail and or prison.
My dad came back from Iraq 2 years ago with one leg. He said he can't find a job, so he just sits home and drinks.
What is poverty?
Poverty is alcoholism.
Dad drinks, mom drinks, my brothers drink, and I drink after school, of course. Mom and dad are not alcoholics because they pay for a living. We get food stamps and a check every month.
What is poverty?
Poverty is drug abuse. Mom likes heroin, my sister's boyfriend does crack, my older brother does crack, me and my homeboys smoke weed and drink 40s.
The definition of poverty is a mental illness.
My grandpa is insane. He has nobody to help him. If he could get a little help, he could do some things like pay for his medicine. He needs a live-in nurse or companion, but we don't know how to get one.
Sickness is a definition of poverty.
My uncle, who is like my father, has pancreatitis and diabetes. He needs dialysis twice a week. My mom can't take him because now that he's sick, she has to work full time.
Poverty is both employment and unemployment. People always think that poor people are lazy and just don't work. My mom works 2 jobs and we're still poor. Most of the time, at the end of the month, we don't have food.
Yeah, well, my mom had a good job. She could ride the bus to work and get home in time to get my little sister. The company closed down. Now all she get is fast food or a temp job. She can't even pay the rent.
What is poverty? Poverty is babies having babies. I'm 16 in the 7th grade. My mom is 29 and has to drop out of the 8th grade to take care of me. My granny is 43. She has to leave school in the 5th grade to help at home. Now I'm 3 months pregnant and I don't know what to do.
What is poverty? Poverty is being educationally disadvantaged.
It's where we show that African American students with 13 years of school and A and B average only 750 on SATs. From middle class areas averaged 1100. What's going on?
Poor children are more likely to do worse of school achievement than non-poor children are. On average, poor children enter school with far fewer vocabulary, literacy, math, and social skills than their middle class peers. They start off a step behind and never catch up. Poor children are twice as likely as non-poor children to have repeated a grade, to have been expelled or suspended from school, or to have dropped out of high school. Poor children are also more likely to be identified as having a learning disability in elementary or high school than their non-poor counterparts. We know the solution to poverty is awareness and education.
Education, going to school, learning, getting a skill and a trade and an ability to go out there and compete in the job market.
We're going to have to be the best that we can be in order to overcome poverty. We don't have the time or the opportunity to sit back now and wait for it to come to us. We have to go get our dreams.
We learn about government and politics so we can understand and debate decisions in the future courses for our country.
We learn conflict resolution and diplomacy instead of violence.
Here we learn self-control and how to be in tune with our body.
We don't believe in can't. We can do all things.
We know that getting high, drinking, or drugging doesn't get rid of the problem. It's still there when the high is over.
We know that mental illness is not a crime. We learn to hold ourselves in high esteem, to not be ashamed to have our courage, to ask for help when we need it.
At the Villa, we have career readiness. We learn to write resumes, practice interviewing skills, receive on-job training, and gain exposure to other ways of life.
At the Villa, we have a sense of belonging. We don't need to have babies to be validated.
We have mastered many things and we have to come to realize we have plenty to give to others.
We are aware.
We are off the chain because we are educated.
Off the chain because we believe that substandard is no standard.
Success is not optional.
When they were gathered together and in agreement, there were none who were in need.